Hey everyone, this is Thomas with Bentwood Ring Supplies, and we're back with another video showing you how we made our latest subscription box ring, Chevron. In the December 2025 Ring Maker sub box, we have one tungsten 8-4 ring blank, 4 Chevron cards, that's 4 colors, 2 inlay adjuster sticks, and 1 roll of adhesive film. Some items you may need if you're new to this and aren't sure what to have on hand are thin CA glue and activator, one of our slow speed ring turners that I'll use in the finish application step, and a lathe of some sort. I'm using a wood lathe in this video for my polishing steps. Let's jump right in. First thing, here are the 2 cards I'll be using for this ring build. I'm going to use this next tool to punch the parts out of the cards and wrap some of our adhesive film around the tip and use it as a tool for picking up the small pieces and placing them in the channel. The next step is placing our adhesive strip around the channel. Do this however works best for you. You can see that I had some difficulty at first and switched it up. I used an inlay adjuster stick to tamp down the high spots I left, and this adhesive strip is going to be the base that holds all of our parts while we build the inlay. Okay, now we're ready to place our inlay parts into the channel. I'm going to mark the sides of the ring with a permanent marker to show where I start and stop the blue pieces and begin the green, because we want this ring to have half blue and half green. I'm using the front part of the mandrel with that center line to tell me where I can put the marks. I'll use the inlay adjuster stick that I wrapped with adhesive film to pick up the first piece of inlay material and place it into the channel. I'll use the opposite side of the tool to press the piece firmly into the adhesive. The next piece will go in the same exact way and overlap the first piece. Press it in firmly again so that it sticks well. If your part is too low, you can use your tool to gently push it forward until the overlap looks right. This may take some practice, but you'll get it in no time. You will repeat this process until you get to the mark you made that signals to change colors. Be sure to overlap the pieces enough so that the adhesive strip below is not visible. From there, it's rinse and repeat until you get to the last few pieces where I'll explain how to fit them all neatly into the channel and close out the design. You've probably noticed by now that the inlay pieces themselves have 2 sides, and one of them is much better looking than the other. I prefer to have the nicer side showing outward in the ring, but you can use whichever you think looks best. Now we've made it to our green parts. We're still placing them and overlapping them with the part before, as usual. And after placing the majority of the green pieces, you can probably see where you're going to run into some difficulty. So to close out the last few parts of this ring, we'll start by using one of our inlay adjusters to loosen that first part you placed a bit and lifting it out of the adhesive. Then we'll place our green pieces up to about the last 2 or 3 and gently maneuver them one at a time down and under the part we lifted. We'll repeat this until we get the very last part in, and this will close out our design. This may take a few tries to get perfect, but you've got it. Take your time and be very gentle here because we don't want to push the part too far beneath the one that it's going under. The very last part, as you can see here, goes in, and it is definitely the most critical. You have to be very gentle and just ease it down in there and stop before it goes too far. And now you'll just gently press on top of the piece above it to get it to adhere. You can maneuver those last few parts a little bit here and there, to get the look you want. This next part is nearly as critical as placement of the parts themselves. Our inlay materials are being barely held in place right now, so we are going to use just a few drops of thin CA to set our parts so that they stay in place. Now we don't want to use a lot here because there's still one important step before the finish application. This step is to make sure that our parts don't fall out. Feel free to go back and check all of your parts to make sure they are firmly glued in place. And once all of our inlays are firmly set, we're going to do something that may seem counterintuitive, but I swear it will make sense in a moment. As you placed all of these parts, you may have noticed that they're all pointed outward, and in some cases they may be above the channel surface. Since we used that bit of CA glue to hold everything in place, we can now bend our parts down and away from the outside of the ring, tightening the design into the channel. Before you do this, it's best to test and make sure you have achieved good adhesion on all of your parts, because this is going to make or break your ring. What we're going to do is take our inlay adjuster stick and use the side of it to bend all of the tips of our inlay pieces down on top of each other. If we had not used enough glue, then this could cause parts to fall out. If we had used too much glue, there may be some excess glue that gets in the way of the parts bending down uniformly. Don't be aggressive here. Just roll the ring gently under the tool and have a look. If all of the parts are compacted nicely, you're done and ready for your finish application. This next part is something many of you have seen before, but there are some critical details we need to address. For this particular ring, we need to have extremely thin layers of CA during our finish application. This is due to all of the open space in the design beneath our parts. If you aren't very careful and diligent here, you may end up with bubbles. This finish process took me about 30 minutes, but I have sped up the video significantly and even removed some footage so it's not representative of how fast our slow speed ring turner is, which is much slower. It's just that this part, as important as it is as boring as watching paint dry. So we add super thin layers, typically somewhere between 1 and 4 drops, and then we remove any excess with a paper towel from the bead that forms on the bottom. Then spritz it with Activator and wait for it to cure, and then repeat until there's enough material to be proud of the ring so that we can sand it back and polish it. It's super easy and it's pretty much the same every time. You just need to take extra care in this case, or when you have high potential for bubbles. Again, feel free to skip this part because even though I sped it up quite a bit, there's still about 10 more minutes of footage just for this part. And so here we are again, sanding and polishing. I don't skip this part in general in most of our videos because it's so important, and it doesn't take forever to show you. In this case, I'm using a Wen brand wood lathe, but you can use nearly anything that spins and can hold your ring. Many have started with drills, bead lathes, metal lathes, or even a drill press. Use what you have until you are ready to upgrade. I've mounted the ring on one of our silicone ring mandrels, and I'll work through the usual range of sandpaper. That's 120 grit through 240, 320, and 400. Since this is tungsten, I'm taking care to make sure that our final grit of sandpaper is the one that removes the remainder of the CA from the outside of the ring. This helps ensure that we have a flat and not concave finish. Next, we move through all of our Zona paper, which starts around 600 grit and finishes around 22,000 grit. We've got the basis of a fantastic polish here already. Lastly, I'm using the last 3 grits of our diamond polishing paste. I like to use this because it will polish the tungsten as well as the finish, and it unifies the polish across the entire ring. And just like that, this ring is done. It's one of my favorite creations this year, and I'm thrilled to finally be able to share it with you. Stay to the end for some photos of different versions of this ring if you'd like some inspiration. If you'd like to join us in making this ring, check us out at bitwoodringsupplies.com. If you fell in love with it and want to purchase a finished version, I'll have them up for sale on our sister site, formandforgedesigns.com. All links below. Please take a moment to subscribe to our channel if you'd like to see more ring making content, and as always, thank you so much for your support. I'll see you in the next one.